guys, what's up? The iPodKid here, and today we are going to be doing my 100th app review. And what I'm going to be doing for you guys is reviewing my number 10 top applications ever. I've done over 99 episodes, each of which contain a bundle of applications, and I have reviewed over 400 applications within all of those reviews. I'm going to be doing my top 10 today. This is not an easy thing. If you don't agree with me, I'd like you to let me know in the comments below. Please don't yell at me and swear at me. As you guys know, this is completely my own opinion, so I'm just trying to give you guys the most accurate opinion that I can for myself. I've had a great time doing this with all you guys. This isn't my goodbye note. I'm still doing app reviews. However, I do want to tell you guys that I will most likely be trying out a new review scheme, and what I'm going to be doing, instead of giving you guys a bundle of applications, some of which aren't 100% top-notch applications, I'm going to try and give you guys individual app reviews from now on. So that means instead of giving you guys a bundle of 4 apps each week or something like that, I'm going to try and get out a new video maybe every other day or every 2 or 3 days, each of which will contain one application. That way I'll be able to go more in depth for each app, and it'll be able to be easier for you guys to watch which app reviews you want to, because the title of the video will be the only application featured within that video. Remember, I'm not done. I'm just going to be trying something out new. If you guys don't like it, I'm sure I'll find out in the comments. You guys have never been easy with comments with me, but hopefully this will work for everyone a little bit better. You guys can tell me how you guys like the actual feeling of that. But anyway, let's get into my top 10 applications for the past 99 reviews. Alright guys, my number 10 app for this review is Super Monkey Ball 2. Fun little fact, the first application that I ever reviewed on YouTube was the first original Super Monkey Ball. Both of which are extremely addicting games. They both feature some pretty awesome graphics, and Super Monkey Ball is a port over from the Nintendo GameCube. If you're not familiar with the game, what you're going to be doing is controlling one of 4 monkeys through different pathways and levels that are going to be maze-like to get to the finish line. Very easy concept, but it gets extremely difficult once you get onto the farther levels with moving platforms and other things you're going to have to encounter. Great thing about Super Monkey Ball 2 is that in a recent update it now has mini-games, which is also original to the Nintendo GameCube version. You now have Monkey Bowling, Monkey Golf, and my favorite, Monkey Target. You can go back though, and I'll show you guys some of the quick gameplay. Go into Quick Play, and it'll just drop us into any of the random levels. So by using the accelerometer to tilt, you're going to control your monkey through this entire level. The farther you tilt forward, the faster it's going to go. Obviously left, left, right, right, and by pulling back on your device, you're going to slow your monkey down. So as you see on the right and left side of the screen, there are different bananas I can pick up that will increase my points in the score, but I just zipped on through that one to get to the finish line, which is that red arch at the end. And it'll show a quick little replay at the end. You can easily just skip through that, and in the quick play it'll just bring me into another level that I can zoom through. If you want to play the single player campaign, you'll be able to unlock different worlds and different levels, and use one of 4 different monkeys. I highly recommend to go check it out. I believe there is a light version now available in the App Store. That is Super Monkey Ball 2, my number 10 app. And my number 9 app for this one is Bloons Tower Defense. You guys might have already seen this application on your computers. It was originally there. It's an extremely addicting flash game, and by far one of my favorite tower defense games. Your object is to destroy all the balloons that pass on the screen. What you're going to be working up to is by getting different monkeys and other destroying objects on your screen at the same time, and then you're going to destroy the balloons as they pass through the level on the pathway. It's an extremely simple concept, but as you progress on and you get up into the levels like 70, 80, and level 100, it gets extremely difficult. It gets very difficult. So you can just select any object you want. We'll pull out the normal dart monkey, and you push play up in the right top corner. And as you see, the balloons will just slowly start to come onto the screen. Being the first level, it's an extremely easy pass through. It doesn't take too long to get through. You only have, I think, 10 balloons on the first level, 10 or 15. Not difficult whatsoever, but what you're trying to work up to is to get onto these parts on the right side. Once you get enough money, you can unlock super monkeys, and you can get plasma, and you can get epic range, so you can cover the entire screen with one monkey. There's other things like monkeys with boomerangs, and I'll show you guys a monkey with a boomerang. And we'll push play, and he'll throw that, and it comes back to him. It's a pretty easy concept, like I said. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of tower defense games, especially if you don't have any tower defense games yet on your device. They're extremely great if you want to kill time or just pass the time in any way. And this one's a pretty cheap one, I might add, too. This is Bloons Tower Defense, my number 9 application. My number 8 app for this review is The Sims 3. Recently, The Sims 3 did have a price reduction in the App Store. I believe it's only $5 now. It was originally $10, and it is by far one of the most engaging applications I've seen in the App Store so far, because it gives you an entire lifestyle that you're going to be playing with. And if you know anything about The Sims, what you're going to be doing is creating a character and or a family, and then pretty much living their lives. It seems pretty boring. Most people would say, why don't you just go out and live your own life? Well, The Sims 3 adds some pretty funny tweaks into it, where you can get any job you want to, from a mad scientist to a completely awesome athlete. You can destroy houses, you can make an insane mansion that you want to, you can throw wild parties, you do anything that you want to in The Sims, which is why it's so addicting and fun. And it's also extremely lifelike, nonetheless, while you still have all of those different options to do. So what you do is you create your sim when you first start off, and live their life. It's pretty easy. You can go rest on the sofa. But what you want to do when you first start off is try and establish a base for your sim. You're going to be trying to get a job for them, maybe getting some more money so you can actually upgrade their house. But one thing that I do want to show you guys that you might not be familiar with all Sims is that in The Sims 3 you are now able to actually go to the physical town, where you'll be able to do a lot more things, like you can fish, do some other mini games. That's where you're going to look for work, go to local cafes, get groceries, and you can also visit all of your other neighbors. Here's the entire town that you're going to be getting for $5. You can go to all of these physical locations and actually go inside of most of the buildings. However, in the town you're not going to be able to go inside of all of them, but if you want to go to a local neighbor's house, example, we can go to Kia's house, we can go and we can visit it. It's an extremely awesome thing that you can do in this application, because not only do you have your one house that you're going to be able to build and tweak, but you have access to all of these other homes that you can enter into and actually be part of those characters' lifestyles. You become friends with these different characters, you can have romances with these characters, or you can become enemies with them, anything you really want to. This is your character and you get to decide how to live their lifestyle. It's an extremely fun, forgiving application that I definitely recommend to go pick up. By far one of the best ones that I've seen so far in the App Store, and if you like any bit of the Sims series, they definitely did this application justice by making a pretty full-fledged application game for the iPod and iPhone, so I highly recommend to go get this one. This is The Sims 3, I believe now $5 in the App Store. And my number 8 application to date. My number 7 application, and my only shooter in this entire review, is Nova. This is by far my favorite shooter application in the App Store. It does have a price tag of, I believe, $4 or $5 currently right now, and it allows for an awesome single-player campaign and a pretty solid multiplayer as well. The multiplayer does require Wi-Fi or 3G connection, obviously, but you can play with people all around the world, and I'm going to add, there's some pretty good people on this game. There's people that constantly play this application, and I could definitely see why, because it's probably the best online shooter available for the iPod and iPhone to date. So let's go on to continue, and I will show you guys the first easy level, which is a tutorial level of the single player, just to give you guys an idea of the graphics and feel for the controls of the application, because that's pretty much the biggest strain on these applications is how they control. This one has an amazing control scheme. It feels and looks very similar to Halo. I know a lot of people say that, definitely, and I completely agree with you guys. Here I'm about to get ambushed by a fleet of enemies, and I just wanted to show you guys how it feels to actually shoot and how it looks with so much happening on the screen at one time. As you see, you have a bunch of enemies still shooting at me while I'm fighting back, and you're not having any frame rate issues. Also, as we just beat the crap out of those guys, I can run around and jump, and it seems just like Halo. So let's skip this. We'll go back to the main menu, and I will show you guys some of the multiplayer gameplay as well. Go into multiplayer, you can play local against your buddies if they have a device next to you, or you can play online like I said. Let's log in with my password. Logging in, welcome back to Gameloft Live, and this is, might I add, a free network, so if you're going to be using 3G, you're obviously going to have to pay for your 3G coverage while online, but if you're in the Wi-Fi, it's not going to cost you anything to actually play online. Play deathmatch, you can create a lobby, or you can just join a quick lobby that's already in progress. Let's just join this one in the jungle. Ready, and here we go. And might I add, it's not that long to start either. It has the loading screen for the main startup, but other than that, it's usually a pretty lag-free and frame rate, the frame rate runs pretty well on this application during online play as well. It runs pretty similar to the single player. Oh, we almost got a kill. So, here's some little jump boosters. Also, like most people say, it's extremely similar to Halo. It looks like Halo, it plays like Halo, the controls are pretty similar to Halo, especially because you have your godlike jump. But it's a fun application, and since there is no Halo to date available in the App Store, I'm not going to have a problem if they're going to copy it, because they do a pretty nice job of getting a very solid shooter in the App Store already. Also, I'm about to die because I don't see any enemies, but apparently you can go up there. No one told me, but you're dead. Anyway, so that's going to be Nova Near Orbit Alliance Experience. I don't know, I spelled that so wrong. I highly recommend you go pick it up. The best shooter in the App Store. This is Nova, $4 or $5, and my number 7 application in this review. Alright guys, on my number 6 app for you, we have to come over to my iPad, because this application is currently only available on iPad. However, it is set to be released for the iPod and iPhone soon in the near future. And this is Netflix, a free, awesome application from the App Store. And what Netflix will allow you to do is, if you already have a pre-existing account with Netflix.com, you can search your favorite movies and watch them straight on your device, and it is fantastic. Here's one that I definitely want to show you guys an example of. If it's available on Roku for the Instant Play on Netflix, you can watch it on your iPad, and soon to be iPod and iPhone, like I've already stated. So, you back out, it'll take a few seconds to load and buffer, and once it does, you have the content and the full, crisp quality movie available on your device. So let's see if we can get this to load. And there you guys go. It's starting up. It's probably going to have to buffer for a few seconds. Oh, this is the end because I've already watched it. So I can scroll back.
You figured it would induce a molecular phase change of the vapor from the cumulonimbus layer.
That's actually a really smart observation.
I mean, the clouds probably have what?
So as you guys see, it is fantastic. It's an amazingly crisp application. That is Netflix, a free app currently only available on the iPad, but soon to be available on the iPod Touch and iPhone. Once again, it is free only if you have an existing membership with Netflix. If not, you might want to check out the application because it might just be worth it to get a membership solely for this purpose. Alright, my number 5 application for you guys is Pandora Radio. This is a free application, which I'm sure most of you already have installed on your device, but what it will allow you to do is basically listen to free music of your choice. You're going to create your own custom radio station by searching your favorite music artists. What that will then do is, by listening to that station, not only will you get content by that artist, but content that the application would recommend on your radio station. So under my B.O.B. radio station, it gives me Kid Cudi. That is pretty similar, I would definitely say, and I definitely, when I'm in that mood, I want to listen to Kid Cudi too. But if I go into Jack Johnson radio, it'll start playing that for me. But I don't want to listen to Jack Johnson. If I want to skip, it'll give me this guy who I've never heard of. But as you can tell, it is very similar sounding to Jack Johnson. You can like, dislike, or even get into iTunes if you like the music, pause and skip tracks. You can even favorite music if you want to go back and listen to it later under your bookmarks, and I highly recommend to go pick this up because it is all free. Costs you $0 to buy the application and to sign up. You have to create a small free account when you first start up, but that only requires an email and a password to sign in. It's an extremely awesome application. Your own free music DJ, Pandora Radio, a free application, and my number 5 app in this review. Alright, my number 4 application for you guys is one of my classic favorites on this device, Cube Runner. And what Cube Runner is an extremely simplistic application that is addicting like crack. What you're going to be doing is controlling your own so-called spaceship through different cubes, and that's it. The cubes will go on for forever or until you hit something. But chances are you're going to hit something since there is no way to actually beat this game. So as you guys see, you use the accelerometer to tilt. Oh, I just died. So, since I hate that mode, you go into settings, you can even change it into landscape mode, which is going to be the widescreen, much easier to control. So now let's try and play it on the new game. Now the game looks pretty easy at first because it definitely is, but the game will get to be pretty ridiculous when you go through different gateways, which are going to have to pretty much make you go crazy when you die because you're going to get so far in the game, not expect it, and then you're going to explode, and you're going to get pissed because there goes your high score. But I highly do recommend to go get this. It's free. It's by far one of the best apps I've ever played, simply because it's addicting fun, which is what you're looking for in a gaming application. There's no gimmicks, there's no ads that are going to be bugging you. It is fun. That's all you want in this game. There is a Cube Runner 2. I don't recommend to go pick that one up. I think Cube Runner 1 is fun. because one, you can create your own levels, and two, it does give you the ability to just go on for forever with no ads and enjoy yourself on a free game. So I highly recommend this. This is Cube Runner 1, a free application and my number 4 app in this review. My next app for you guys is a free one as well called Skype, and this will work perfect for iPhone users. If you don't have an iPhone, you have an iPod Touch, what you're going to need is an external microphone like this one. And what this will do is plug into my bottom headphone jack, and now I can talk into my iPod Touch. And the best thing about this application is that once you sign in with your free user account, which I'm doing right now, you will be able to make voice calls for as long as you want for completely no charge whatsoever, either on your iPhone or on your iPod Touch. So the great thing about this is even if you're using 3G to talk on your iPhone when you're out and about, it costs $0 through Apple. You're going to have to pay nothing through Skype, you're only going to have to pay through data charges as they're passing through, but it doesn't cost per minute or anything like that. And as you guys see, it has everything that you would need in Skype. Go into contacts, you can go into chats if you have one that's already open through a text chat, or you can make a phone call. If you do have any Skype credit, you can make phone calls to landlines and mobile phones, but that's going to cost you money. If you want to make the free phone calls, you're just going to want to make some simple Skype calls to any of your friends. It's very simple, and I highly recommend to go pick this one up. This is Skype, one of the best applications that I've seen, simply because it gives you free voice phone calls to any other Skype users on iPods, iPhones, or iPads now. Once again, if you have an iPod Touch, you're going to need to get the external microphone, but I highly recommend to do that if you ever see yourself using this application. That's my number 3 application, Skype, a free one and awesome. My number 2 app for you guys is Rock Band, and let me add this before I start. There have been a ton of music simulation applications in the App Store for iPod, iPad, and iPhone. This is by far the best one that I've played. This is the only one that I've kept on my device, and this is the only one that I've actually beat every single song on because it's so fun and addicting. This is Rock Band, very similar to the console games you're going to be playing. Obviously, you're not going to be having the actual instruments to be playing, but it has a very, very realistic feel, at least for a 3.5-inch screen. So you go into quick play, and at the beginning you have every song unlocked, so you're not going to have to play through the career mode if you don't want to, and you have every single song on the song list unlocked, available on all 4 instruments. The 4 instruments you're going to have are guitar, bass, drums, and voice if you want to sing. However, the voice is an extremely large letdown because all you're going to be doing is just dragging your finger up and down with the pitch. There is no other option if you do have a microphone for an iPhone, or for the external microphone, you're never going to be able to actually sing into it. So let's just play drums because that is by far my favorite instrument on this, and we'll show you guys how it works. It does have some pretty long loading screens in the beginning, but once you do start, especially when there's a ton of notes that are going on the screen at one time, you never experience any frame rate issues, which is definitely a great feature about this. So that is my number 2 application, Rock Band. I highly recommend to go pick it up. It does have the multiplayer if you want to play with some buddies, but it also has an online leaderboard if you want to see if you can get one of the highest scores if you're a Rock Band or guitar badass. It is really a lot better on iPad though, I might add. So if you do have it on iPad, then you probably want to put it on there as well, but it also works just perfectly on your iPod and iPhone. That is Rock Band, my number 2 application for this review. And my number 1 application, I'm sure some of you guys can already guess it because it is one of the most intense and immersive single-player opportunities that I've got on the iPod Touch and iPhone. It does work fantastic on the iPad as well, and has one of the best control schemes that I've seen so far for any application to date. My number 1 application out of the last 99 reviews is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. I highly recommend to go pick this application up. If you've ever played a Grand Theft Auto game, this is as close as you're going to get on the iPod and iPhone. There have been other applications very similar to it, such as Gangstar, but in all honesty, nothing can get as close to the actual Grand Theft Auto as Grand Theft Auto itself. This is your main menu pretty much, and you go into the single player by clicking on the door. However, might I add, this is not going to be the exact same feel that you're going to get on a console game. As you see, you have the overheaded view, and it's going to be a much more cartoon-like feeling. This is very similar to the actual Chinatown Wars that was available on the Nintendo DS, and might I add, it doesn't feel just as great as the original Grand Theft Autos on the consoles, but it's pretty dang close. The overhead view goes back to the original Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 feelings that were on PlayStation 1s and other consoles, but in all honesty, to get close to the new Grand Theft Auto 4 feeling, you're not going to get there on an iPod or an iPhone. It's just pretty much dang impossible. So the application allows for pretty much all access that you would want in any application for a Grand Theft Auto game. You can go around, steal cars, shoot civilians, and do some pretty fun missions. The missions are the exact same that you would get on the Nintendo DS if you've already owned Chinatown Wars, but in all honesty, the best thing about this application is the control scheme. Control schemes for a full free roam game could be pretty much impossible to actually nail, but in all honesty, they did a pretty nice job on this application. The buttons are on the right bottom corner, and you have your analog stick in the left bottom corner to control where you're going, and that's about all you really need. Let's try and steal a cop car. Drive, 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 drive. Alright, now we got stars. Up in the right top corner, you have your star level. If you know anything about Grand Theft Auto, the more stars you get, the more fun it is, but you're not supposed to actually get stars because that attracts the policemen. Who cares? That's the best thing about it, is trying to get as many stars as you can and run away. But this does have a pretty immersive single-player campaign mode. Like I already added, is the exact same as the Nintendo DS version. And in all honesty, I have no flaws or any gruff with this application. Yes, I just said gruff. But the application's pretty fun, very immersive, and an amazing single-player campaign. I highly recommend you go get it, especially if you're a fan of any Grand Theft Auto game in the past. That is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, my #1 application in the last 99 reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my top 10. Once again, I do have all of them listed here. I've been sneaking them onto this page the entire time. However, I don't have Netflix listed here because it is currently an only iPad application. Soon to come to the iPod and iPhone, though, apparently. Hopefully. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed my top 10 for the last 99 reviews. I've had a pretty fantastic time hanging with you guys and getting some feedback on what you guys do and don't want to see. So continue to leave me the feedback. Like my videos if you like what I'm doing. The support always helps me definitely big time. And spread the word so we can get some more apps out there for you guys too. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Have a fantastic day.